but I've had a lot of time to think. I've spoken to those that are close to me, some experienced bodybuilders, and I have decided. What's going on YouTube, it's Jason, and today, as the video states, I've had a change of heart. I had a great time competing last week. I got on stage and got the leanest I've probably ever been. It was great in front of the audience, and the preparation and the discipline and the mindset and all that went with that was absolutely amazing. After doing the show, I finished 7th, and I was supposed to be doing the Gymshark show, but I've had a lot of time to think. I've spoken to those that are close to me, some experienced bodybuilders, and I have decided I am no longer competing in the Gymshark show. Now, I know this may come as a bit of a surprise to a lot of people, but you never know how you feel until you actually do your first show. And I did the first show, and to be honest, upon reflection, I was half-baked. In that, I wasn't as big as I could have been. I didn't have an off-season or a building phase like many other competitors. And I also wasn't as lean as I could have been. I kept on mentioning that I'm gonna shred down in like 7 weeks. The more I spoke to people backstage, the more I realized that people were leaving like 14 to 20 weeks to prepare for the show. So essentially, I turned up unprepared to an untested show, and I didn't finish last, which gave me encouragement, but also got me thinking, if I brought my best package, what would I have delivered and where would I have placed? So I had to ask myself some honest questions. The first was, what was the reason you competed in the first place? And for me, one of the main reasons outside trying to build my brand was that I'd been in this place of complacency with my physique for probably the past 4 or 5 years. I was going through the motions with training, I wasn't really pushing myself, and I wanted to be able to take my physique to the next level and see if I could improve things. Doing the show meant that I was forced to leave my place of complacency and push my body to the limit. And if you remember, I actually booked 4 DEXA scans back in April so that every quarter I could assess my physique, as in how much muscle I'd gained and where my body fat was. So really, the overarching theme of booking these scans and finally stepping on stage was all about self-improvement and banishing complacency. Moving on to the second question I asked myself was, if part of the reason you wanted to step on stage was to grow your brand and to get your name out there, what is the point in putting a half-baked physique on stage? Surely, if you want to get your brand out there, you want to transform your physique and take it as far as possible so that you can say to everybody, look what I did, I actually walked the walk. And that's me all over. I want to put my best foot forward, and I want to always give my best. Also, Gymshark is another untested show, and while I knew that those that were enhanced had an edge on my physique to begin with, when I turned up to the show and I could actually see in front of my eyes the condition and the size of these guys, I literally was like, what am I doing here? I'm literally setting myself up to fail. And so while it would already be an uneven playing field, if I didn't bring my best, I would be even further behind at the Gymshark show. And the final reason I'm not doing the Gymshark show is because 2 weeks just doesn't leave enough time for improvement. As I mentioned, these guys are enhanced, so to really stand any chance of doing okay, you need to be your absolute best as a natural competitor. In 2 weeks time, I may lose what, like 0.5% or 1% body fat? How different is my physique going to be, and therefore how different will the feedback be in show 1 versus show 2? It's not really going to change. So all of these things being considered, what have I decided? I've decided that I want to give myself proper time to improve my physique. After all, that was one of the main goals of this year. And so what that means is between now and June, I want to do a proper lean bulk and give myself a chance to improve my physique. From June, I want to do a 16-week shred, and so by this time next year, I'll be bigger and much leaner. Also, I've decided that next year I want to do 2 shows. I want to do one more untested show just to see where I can place when I bring my best package, and I also want to do a natural tested show to see how I fare against natural competitors. I don't want to be one of these people with a bodybuilding career who ends up doing like 10 plus shows. I'm using the shows as an excuse to improve my physique, and all I'm merely doing is satisfying an itch. I find bodybuilding quite extreme, and in my experience, the longer people stay in the game, the more warped their mindsets become. What I prefer to follow, and what's built my physique so far, is what I describe as bodybuilding. And this essentially is modified bodybuilding or mind and bodybuilding. This essentially gives you all the benefits of bodybuilding, so a leaner and more aesthetic physique, more muscle and more strength, without the toxic side effects of like extreme dieting or drugs. Take the good bits of bodybuilding and bin the rest. I'm going to do a separate video on bodybuilding and what that looks like in practice. So yeah, this isn't me bottling it, far from. I'm doing 2 shows next year. I just need more time to improve my physique. And when I do these 2 shows, I will be my best ever. I'm really looking forward to taking you guys on this journey with me and seeing my physique transform. Next week I've got a DEXA scan booked so I can see what my body fat would have been on show day. I'm hovering around about the same weight, and so it should give me a good indication and a benchmark to aim for next year. Next year I want more muscle and less body fat than I had at my first show. So I'll be doing another DEXA scan in January, another one in April, and another one before my next show this time next year in October. So a lot to think about and a lot of work to do to level up. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like it, comment below for the algorithm, it massively helps. Please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.